Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Medley Toastmasters meeting number 740. Myself, Toastmaster Suhail, Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting. Toastmaster provides a supportive and positive learning experience which helps the member to develop their communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. In order to conduct a successful meeting, we have 3 basic ground rules. First, please put your mobile on silent mode. I will give you 10 seconds. Second, please don't exit the meeting abruptly. And third, don't speak any topics related to sex, religion, and politics. With this, I will hand over the session to the Presiding officer, Toastmaster Venkataseshan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suhail, the Sergeant at Arms for today's meeting, for setting up the ground rules and starting the meeting bang on time. Mainly time 2:55 p.m. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to meeting 740. With the sound of this gavel, I declare meeting 740 open. I welcome the dignitaries here, DTM Thomas Abraham, the past PR manager of District 120 and former president of Medley Toastmasters Club, Toastmaster Saravanan, who is the area director of Area C3 and also the former president of Medley Toastmasters Club. Now all the members of Medley Toastmasters Club and the guests who are present here for today's meeting. Are you excited?
Yes.
I am equally excited about today's meeting. I have many reasons to be excited. Before that, I would like to get the guests introduced here. I would request guest Suresh, please come on stage and introduce himself.
Okay. Thank you for giving an opportunity here to be speaking before the great audience. So I just came with some expectations here, first of all. I visited some more Toastmasters. So this is the second Toastmaster. And I had never seen a crowd like this in any other place. Never seen a warm welcome like this. There are a lot of things which is very uncommon, which is important for anybody to go with. I work for a company, IT company. I've been working for HCL Infosystems for 20 years. And the last 1 year I've joined a company by the name HP Packet, which sells HP hardware, IT hardware. And I'm married to Rajesh, happily married to her, Rajesh from 99. I have a single son, Surya. I just came here to make my son to have a better articulation of communication. So that is the purpose in which I came. But I spoke to some more people who were there in Toastmasters. They said that you was going there with a single purpose, but Toastmasters will always give you a lot of multi-faced opportunity for something to learn. So I expect all those things from all of you here. Thank you.
I request guest.
Hello everyone, my name is Surya. My father, as you just met him, his name is Suresh, and my mother Rajeshwari. So I'm just done with my 12th standard in 2 months back, and I'm looking to get to know you all by joining this program as soon as possible, and join this specifically in order to, as my father said, an articulation and helping to get better know my communication skills as much as possible. And yeah, that's it.
All the best, Surya. We have a guest visiting Toastmaster Bharat. Please.
Good afternoon, everyone. So I am Bharat. So I've been in Chennai since my birth. So my native is a place called Sirgari in south of Tamil Nadu. So I've been working in a company called Ericsson in an R&D department, where I got introduced to one of my colleague Raghavan, and through him I got introduced to this Toastmaster club. So in my personal life, I have my family wife who is also an IT employee, and 2 kids, Advik aged 8 and Diya aged 5. who keeps me and my wife busy and occupied throughout weekdays and weekends. Though my professional is only on weekdays, but then my kids take care of my both weekdays and weekends. So not much expectations from this club, just wanted to join and participate, learn. I know this is a diverse club. The environment is superb, fantastic. It is a wonderful crowd. So as I said, this was the Toastmaster Center which was suggested by my colleague Rajesh. So I want to participate in the meetings, contribute and learn and develop myself. Thank you.
We have one more guest. Can you please come and introduce?
Hello everyone, my name is Sastha Prasad. I work for Infosys. I heard a lot about Toastmaster. Toastmaster was running in Infosys for quite some time. I stay here opposite, diagonally opposite to this place. So I came to know that this Toastmaster runs here. And I'm moving into more and more leadership position. So I want to enrich my communication skills, both talking to people, public speaking, etc., and also how I can enrich my communication with the clients, right? That's the objective with which I have come here, and I'm sure I'll be able to do that with all of you. Thank you very much.
So with this, I have two great news. One is most of our Toastmasters would know. We have won Win-Win-Win award from District 120 for renewal of more than 20 members in this term. We are expecting 100% in the next few days. And second thing is, as I said, more than 50% of our members have renewed so far. I request other members to complete their renewal as soon as possible before the due date of 26th July. So, last week I was talking to my son. Most of you may know he is 15 years old, very curious, very anxious, moving into this adolescent age, and he is very doubtful of his future. As a parent, I was wondering how could I help him. I sat with him and I was talking to him about various options he has. He said that multiple options and the choices are making him more anxious. While talking to him about this, I remember Khalil Gibran, one of the famous poet, writer, has written about the river. The river, it has flown through forests and mountains with a lot of struggle, and finally it had its own freedom and it was about to merge or get into the ocean. Looking at the vastness of the ocean, it got trembled, it got fear. How could I go and get into this ocean? I would disappear into that ocean. It looked back the way it came through. There is no way going back. There is only one way forward. Change is inevitable, it understood. It has to take that risk of accepting that change and get into the ocean. Only then it would overcome its fear. Only then it would understand that it is not going to disappear into the ocean, rather it is going to be an ocean. The river itself is getting transformed into an ocean. So that's how Khalil Gibran had said very nicely, but I tried in my own terms, which may not be as perfect as good as Khalil's words. But the crux of the message is embrace change. The first step towards the change is the fear. Once you overcome the fear, you are the ocean. You have the vastness is yours. In today's meeting, the theme which I was talking about is more appropriate because we have 5 Toastmasters who are getting into their Toastmaster journey, overcoming that fear of change. They are doing their Icebreaker speech, which is the first speech in their Toastmasters journey. 5 of them are going to give their Icebreaker speech. So it's a very special meeting. As one of the guests asked, is there something special meeting today? I said, every week is special here, so the crowd is like this. So it's going to be very special for all of us. So join me and enjoy this meeting. So I would like to introduce the Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster of the day is a very passionate dental surgeon and a professor. And she is the native of Nama Madras. So And you may know her, many of you may know her, but very promptly, 2 or 3 weeks back, one guest approached me about membership. I told him, go and speak to our VPM, Toastmaster Pravda. He said, the lady who smiles always? I said, yes, she is the person. So she always wears a smiling face whenever she is getting into the meeting. And last meeting as a Toastmaster of the day, she had given us a dose of energy for all of us to go back with a lot of enthusiasm and energy. And this time, she is taking us through change, metamorphosis. So, please join me welcoming Toastmaster Pravda as the Toastmaster.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. Fellow Toastmasters, guests, and my dear friends, a very good afternoon to one and all. When I was in higher secondary classes, I was one of the best students in academics. But I had a drawback or weakness, my handwriting. I write very small and thin, and most of the time even I may not be able to read what I have written. I knew I inherited that from my dad because his handwriting is also equally as bad as mine. One day my zoology teacher called me and said, Pravda, if you're not going to change your handwriting, then you are going to lose marks in your final exams. Then I started writing slowly, a little boldly. And over time, my handwriting became better and legible. We all knew that we inherit certain characteristics from our parents, like the eye color, the shape of our nose, the size of our jaw, the skin color, texture, and so on. For so many years, I thought I had inherited a bad handwriting from my father, till my zoology teacher pointed it and said that you can change it. And that made me to think about that. And I realized that one can change the handwriting over time as the mental and physical characteristic changes. Richard Fraser, a handwriting expert in medical forensic medicine, has said that you can change your handwriting at any age if you are truly determined. I had the same assumption as a speaker. I had my Icebreaker 20 years before as a first year PG student, where I had to give my first speech in front of a huge scientific forum. You will not know the amount of anxiety I had. The very next thought what I had after delivering the speech was, I'm not going to take up this. This is not my cup of tea. I'm not blessed like some poor natural speakers. But I had to take teaching as a profession. And over time, with my experience, this fear and anxiety gradually reduced. For the past 1.5 years, I found that this fear and anxiety has exponentially decreased. In 2 weeks before, I was invited to give a speech in a conference, and it was just a 5 to 6 minute speech. I know the content, but I didn't have the time to rehearse even once. When they called me to the dais, I did not have the fear. When I faced a huge auditorium, people filled in the auditorium, and when I was in front of the mic, I did not have any fear. I spoke. I gave a better speech. And the first thing that I came down is I said to my friend that in this past 15 years of my academic life, this is the first time I have not felt any fear in front of such a huge crowd. And I also said that this credit goes to Toastmasters. Friends, you all know what metamorphosis is. It is a Greek ancient word that means transforming or transformation. It is the process that happens in insects where it changes from a very immature form to a mature adult form through 2 or more distinct stages. And this happens, though it has a scientific influence, this happens like a magic or some supernatural forces. And I feel that Toastmaster is one such supernatural force that has led me elevate my fear and led me to a better speaker. I would like to share with you the transformation that I had during this 2 years of Toastmastering. I will let you know during this meeting, and for the benefit of the guests and the newcomers, let me explain to you the structure or the basic structure of a Toastmaster meeting. Any Toastmaster meeting happens in 3 different segments. The first segment is this prepared speech, where the members will give a prepared speech for a stipulated time based on their projects or their selected pathways. The next section is the table topic section, which is an unprepared speech where the members are invited here and they have to speak on their toe for a minute or two for the questions or the topics that are given. And even guests are invited. They are allowed to participate in this section. And the third section is the evaluation section, where the members are going to give their critical analysis and feedback on the prepared speeches. Now, to evaluate the entire meeting and even me, there is someone called as a general evaluator. Today we have, to play this role, we have a person who is always enthusiastic. He is enthusiastic to learn new things. He is basically a software developer, and he aspires to become a great communicator and a great leader through Toastmasters. Please join with me to welcome Toastmaster Prasanna Venkatesh, the general evaluator of today's meeting.
Thank you, TMoD. The purpose of the general evaluator is to evaluate the whole meeting in general. As the name suggests, it's a general evaluation. I will note down things that happens in the meeting, that doesn't happen in the meeting, and I will point out at the end of the meeting. To facilitate my evaluation, I have 2 sets of teams, tag team and the evaluators. For the tag team instance, timer, counter and Grammarian. To make sure we are on the right track on the time, whether we stick with the agenda, we have the timer role. Today we have timer. It's going to be played by Toastmaster Tamilavel. He is from Vivinagar. He is a software professional and he is a new Toastmaster. He is playing his first role today. Toastmaster Tamilavel, please come.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon to everybody. It's a pleasure to talk with you in the meeting. I am going to time the prepared speeches, table topic speeches, and the speeches from the evaluators. So let us start with I'll give the ground rules for the prepared speeches. It will be 4 to 6 minutes. It's basically icebreaker speeches. Today we are going to have only the icebreaker speeches, so it will be like 4 to 6 minutes. I'll show you, I'll give you the timing like the minimum time, basically the qualifying time, then the target time, then the maximum time we can take. For prepared speeches, the minimum time or the qualifying time is like 4 minutes. When you reach the 4 minutes, I'll show you the green card. When the speaker speaks for 5 minutes, then I will show the yellow card. If the speaker speaks for 6 minutes, then I will show the red card. There will be 30 seconds the speaker can take, particularly for the prepared speeches. And then the next type of speeches will be like table topic speeches. It will be 1 to 2 minutes. The 1 minute I will show the green card. 1 minute 30 seconds I will show the yellow card, and 2 minutes I will show the red card. And then for the evaluation, it will be 2 to 3 minutes. 2 minutes I will show the green card, and 2.5 minutes I will show the yellow card, and 3 minutes I will show the red card. So this is the ground rules for the speakers to consider in terms of time. Okay, and I want to share one more tip for tip today in terms of time. Time is very important, we know very well. Even we had a session last week, Praveena explained about how 20-30-80 rules work and how the priority is to be done for the time. So I have a small tip which I used to follow here, like not here, in my life. If any task takes less than 5 minutes, then we need to do it immediately, irrespective of the priority, criticality of the task. Then things will be moved automatically. Lot of things, the number of tasks in your plate will be reduced very much. So that's the tip I want to share with you all. Anyway, I will come again with my report of the speakers. Thank you.
Thank you. To make sure we give an effective speech, we have one role in tagger. It's our counter. Today our counter role is going to be played by Toastmaster Shanmugavel. He's a senior technical officer at Central Leather Research Institute. But for me, when I remember about him that he gave one TT speech that one person or one thing you could not live without. I asked him. He told that his life partner he could not live without, and he gave a wonderful speech. I remember still now. Please, Toastmaster Shanmugavel, please come.
Thank you. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. Today I am an accountant. As an accountant, I have to note the words and sounds which are used as a crutch and filler sounds. Mostly, I will note and I will also listen the overused words, the filler sound, as well as the repeated words. Usually, the overused words are and, but, so, be, you know, like, etc. And the filler sounds such as and the repeated words such as I, this means will also be noted. At the end of the meeting, I will report how much time the speakers have used in their speech. And this report will use for the speaker for the metamorphosis. Today the theme of the day of the theme is metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is a biological term. It is a great word. Whenever madam comes, she will introduce some scientific words. Last time, as he just told you, those taxonomy, that's like that. So today, see that metamorphosis is a process. It is an essential stepwise process for the development. Usually, it is happening in the mollusk, insect, and tunicate, amphibian like frogs. Last theme of the week was the eat the frog. In the frog, if you see the metamorphosis happening, first it will be egg, then tadpole with legs, then froglet, finally the mature frog. So, human don't undergo metamorphosis, but we are going to, it will be happening by breaking up 5 icebergs. So, all the best, all the 5 speakers. Thank you very much.
The Grammarian role is going to be played by Toastmaster Nishana. She is a member since last year, and she is a co-founder of one startup. And I believe she is from Muthupet, nearby to my hometown. So I welcome Toastmaster Nishana.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, it is my responsibility to pay close attention to all the speakers and listen carefully on their language usage. I note down any improper usage as well as any outstanding quotes, thoughts, or sayings. It's my also duty to introduce the word of the day, and the word of the day is exultant. It's an adjective, and it means you feel very happy and proud about what you have done, specifically chosen for the Icebreaker marathon as such. So you can use it this way: the captain shouted exultantly when his team won the game. I would encourage all the speakers to use the word of the day, and I will submit my report at the end of the meeting.
Now I hand over the stage to the TMoD.
Thank you, G. As said by our presiding officer, today's meeting is a little more special because we have series of members who are going to break their ice, and this icebreaker as a speaker, and this icebreaker speech is going to be a milestone in their Toastmaster journey. To kickstart this icebreaker marathon, today we have a person, a fresher to Medley, who wish to spread love to others. She's working as a manager in Savista Medical Coding, and she joined Toastmasters to become a great communicator. She's none other than Toastmaster Priyadarshni. Before I call her, may I now request the evaluator of Toastmaster Priyadarshni, Toastmaster Saravanan, to read the objectives of Toastmaster Priyadarshni.
Toastmaster Priyadarshni is giving her speech on persuasive influence pathways, level 1, project 1, icebreaker speech. The purpose of this speech, the purpose of this project is to introduce yourself to the club and learn the basic structure of a public speech. Timer, please note, time is 4 to 6 minutes. All the very best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Saravanan. Toastmaster Priyadarshni, miracles on the way. Miracles on the way, Toastmaster Priyadarshni.
Okay. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. I think everyone would have come across at least few miracles in your life. Yes? No?
Yes.
Good. Life is full of series of 1,000 little miracles. And I'm one such miracle to my bureaucratic father and my charismatic mother. Born in a small town in Salem, and we got relocated to Chennai because of my father transfer, and well before I started speaking. Million thanks to my school. You know why? Because my school gave me the greatest style of speaking and the slang of English, which I will load over now. I was a very shy, average student, having a placid life cycle, and one day my mother departed her life. It was sad. I was worried. But the worry is, I being a very fantasy girl, even now, I'm a very fantasy girl, I imagine that how my stepmother will treat me like Cinderella of Snow White. Contrarily, miracle happened. She was a bonus mother, a bonus blessing for me. And she took care of me and my sister as a extra blessing from the God and protected us like her own children. My father, being the first graduate of her family, traveled all over Tamil Nadu because we were working in State Bank. So my mother was there, my stepmom was there, always with us. Despite her morning hospital duties and her evening clinics, she took care of 3 children in her early 30s, which I'm still struggling how to balance my work life. It's still a mystery for me. I finished schooling with average marks. That shattered my idea to become a doctor. Finally, I got into a college where I was placed in a UG course, that is microbiology. At that age, I never heard about this word before. But I felt happy. Something in science background, I got placed. But the glitch is the dress code of that college. My dream to get into a college was to dress up in all those fancy, modern, western dresses. Ended up with a sari. I have to wear sari daily. It was a Cinderella story every other day. I need to drag the sari, drape it around me with the help of my stepmom, and run to the bus stop, depot nearby, take a Palavan bus, hunt for a window seat, where mostly I won't even get a place to stand there. While traveling, pins falling off, sari falling down, drape the sari, swirl it around, get down on the bus, run to the college before the gate closed or the bell rings at the stroke of 8. The story was continuing. Before I get used to the sari drama, another brick on my head. My grandpa was already married 4 times, was not well, and was almost in deathbed. Proposed his last wish to my dad that he wants to see his grandchildren getting married. Yes. So my dad and my aunt decided, let's get our children married. Again, me, being a fantasy girl, obsessed with the movies like Titanic, Shakespeare novels, Sidney Sheldon novels, accepted to get married at the age of 18. Miracle is my marriage. I should say my husband is an angel. He helped me to get on to my studies, do my MBA. He helped me to take up the leadership roles. It was a backbone for my career growth. Life was wonderful, marriage was happy. We were happily married in our Bangalore days, like a romantic life, like Romeo and Juliet. Happy, no? Life has its own plan, where the reality gets overlapped on fantasy. Friends, trust is like virginity. Okay? You lose it once, you'll never get it back. I lost both. Felt empty. Felt my life is meaningless. Get into a depressed zone of my life. Decided to take my last breath. You know guys, miracle happened. This time angels didn't come alone. They came in a bunch in the form of my friends. They helped me to get out of these difficult days of my life. They made me sing, dance and do whatever I want to do. I even learned car driving, where I was not even knowing to drive a bicycle. I converted all my negative thoughts to positive energy, invested that energy in all the work I did, made myself busy, excelled in all the work I have been given. I was excellent on the work that I did on every moment of my life. So, here I am, where I took the courage to get into the den of my office, that is my VP's office, where he helped me to get introduced to Toastmasters. So here I am with a hall filled with angels whom I'm going to grow and learn together. So I'm Priyadarshini, coding manager, working in Savista on medical coding, handling different departments in medical coding, and awaiting to unleash the miracles on my team. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyadarshini. The next speaker in the series is a very soft-spoken person, very adaptive in nature, professionally a banker who aspires to become a good communicator and a leader through Toastmasters. Before I invite Toastmaster Wilson, let me call upon the evaluator, DTM Thomas, to read out his speech objectives.
Ma'am, the objectives of all the 5 of the same.
Oh,
But each, you might like to announce his name of his title and the path and the path. Thank you.
Toastmaster Wilson, greater days yet to come. Greater days yet to come, Toastmaster Wilson.
Life is an irony. It's only when you get into a depression, you will be able to appreciate the happiness. Only when you undergo stress, you will be able to feel the calmness. And only when there is an absence of something, you will be able to feel the value of the presence. Dear TMoD, distinguished Toastmasters and guests, I like to check with you, what is the number of the next meeting? Anybody can tell me? I'm talking about the milestone meeting.
741.
Okay, you got it right. So for me, is the first milestone meeting where I'm going to overcome the fear which is actually holding me back from performing on a stage, basically. I am from a beautiful village called Edappuzha in Kannur district in Kerala, which is bordering near to the pool. I am from a middle class agricultural family. I'm the 9th one, the youngest one in the lot. Okay. I had a very simple childhood in my hometown. My life was all about the school, the church, and our farmland. I was a very timid child. So, I used to hide myself, from not attending all these, all these extracurricular activities and events which used to be conducted in the school. So that was one that I used to do that when I was a child. At the age of 12, when we got TV connection at home, and I started watching the tennis, especially French Open and Wimbledon. I started watching at the age of 13. So that actually I became a sports enthusiast. I used to watch all the World Cup matches, cricket and football. I was a first bencher in my earlier days in the school, but due to this, after 8th standard, I became my studies took a backstage that point of time. I have done my graduation, and after that I fortunately got admission to MBA program of Calicut University. That actually paved the way for me to venture out from Kerala and come to Bangalore and start a career in banking. I had a good bachelor life in Bangalore from 2004 to 8. I had a good friend circle. We used to go in and around Bangalore. I made some trips to Coorg, Pune and all that point of time, Goa as well, with my friends. Weekends used to be more of spending time in dhabas and as usual bars and pub culture and all those things was there, part of the Bangalore life. Yeah, then I came in 2009 to Chennai. In 2009 I came and I started working with ICICI Direct in stockbroking. From 2013, I am working with HDFC Bank, which is current institute where I am working. I am having a very satisfying and progressive career as of now. Everything was going fine all these while, but what was actually stopping me, or what was actually pulling me back, was there was always a fear to perform in front of an audience. That was there actually as a limiting factor for myself. But I always had an equal amount of urge inside me to improve upon myself. So I used to attend certain personality development sessions and all. In 2013, one of my trainers suggested me to join Toastmasters. How are I going to do that? I always take inspiration from some of my role models. Being a tennis fan, and I watch Djokovic very closely, and I take inspiration from him always. So I always try to improve on myself, do a fight back, and that is my as part of my as part of my nature that is there always. So here I am with all the help of and support of all the Toastmasters, I am looking forward for a great journey here. So this is the first milestone which I am doing it here, and with all your support, I am looking forward for a great journey. Thank you all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vincent. The third in line is again a new Toastmaster. I always remember him bagging the best PT speaker award in Toastmasters meeting. He is a multifaceted person. He is a financial advisor, legal advisor, teacher, Rotarian, and the list goes on. He aspires to be a great leader and communicator through Toastmasters. Please join with me to welcome Toastmaster Balasubramaniam. His evaluator is Toastmaster Venkataseshan. Toastmaster Balasubramaniam, Mini Tiffin, Toastmaster Balasubramaniam.
Good afternoon, Toastmasters of the day, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Mini Tiffin is a metaphor I have chosen to represent my life and choices I have made in my life. When you go to a restaurant, you order idli, only find the next man ordering crispy dosa and you thought, why not have that? And somebody else orders pani puri and you like to have it. So, but in Mini Tiffin you get to taste a bit of everything. And I thought life should be like a Mini Tiffin. So all my choices are partly conditioned by circumstances and partly my choices. And that's where I stand before you to explain my journey, how I was born in the temple town of Srirangam in Trichy district. For a long time, I thought people belonged to a single fight. Till I moved to St. Joseph's Trichy, where I understood Roman Catholic fight. Then I moved on to Bishopibad, understood Protestants. Then later on moved to Malaysia, where I understood Islamic fight, a variety of fights in day. And during the school days and college days, I used to be bored of the classrooms. So I used to want to travel to different places in the guise of quiz, debate, live music, singer, all that. So that again took me to different places and different sorts of experience. And during my MBA days, while everybody loved the AC comfort, I preferred to work incognito, invisible, as an industrial factory worker in BHEL, as a worker, arc welder, electric arc welder, wearing protective eye gear, and standing in the queue behind the workers and understanding their way of life. Later on, the first job when I came was Coromandel Fertilizers, and I was recruited as a cost accountant to do pricing. I was sick and tired of doing the pricing and talking to the government. I went into chartered accountants domain of accounting, costing, and accounting and taxation. Till ports fascinated me because we used to import a lot of fertilizers from the ports, and ports fascinated me. That was the next day. So when United Nations gave me an opportunity, I jumped into United Nations, became a self-acclaimed port expert. I was trained in UK and Europe in port management, University of Cardiff, and other places. I was completely exposed to UK for a long time. Till I was put in charge of East, where I moved to Singapore, Malaysia, again did my studies there. So, and again it's a complete, again, a different of complete East is West and West is West, and it's a different culture altogether. And I got married in 95. Why is very clear. We lacked life in India, preferably in Mylapore. Okay, so I came back to India, and India just opened up 96. So I joined credit rating industry, ICRA, and started credit rating infrastructure. And that's a different culture away from United Nations, very bureaucratic, and Coromandel, private sector. This is full of IMs and ITs, different culture. Got used to that again. So, but then suddenly I felt, credit rating, you only give opinion, people don't care about your opinion. They go ahead with the loans. So I thought, unless you put money behind your mouth, people don't listen to you. I wanted to become a banker, and an opportunity came in IDFC, Infrastructure Finance Institution. I jumped on it, became a part of a project finance. But those days, when the infrastructure was just created to watch why all the roads were built, I had the opportunity to advise the government of India as a part of the Prime Minister's Task Force Infrastructure. This highway development says, in fact, says people from Chennai, maybe from the toll and what we pay. So I think that's where the journey started. It's a good job where you could advise the government in the morning and fund investors in the evening. So life was going on, and it was very interesting. And then the next part of it that, and when I got involved, World Bank and Government of India engaged me as a brand ambassador for India. So I had to do the India promotion all over the world, UK, Italy, China, and many countries. And I had to be the brand ambassador, basically selling India's story, etc. So that gave me a very good opportunity. In fact, I was lucky to be invited to the Queen's birthday list of Buckingham Palace, but I was asked to stay for a few days as a guest of the Queen. So all those are exaltation moments, right? Where you really felt that life has its own choice of miracles to you. So just go along the tide. And it was an interesting journey. We could mix with the diplomats, royal families, and multilaterals, World Banks, and all that. But then I always thought infrastructure, again, was getting there, like .com bubble, everybody said infrastructure is happening, but my mind told me, look, it's going to be risk. In everybody's accuracy, there's going to be litigation. I chose my career, became a lawyer, so that I anticipated disputes. And I became a lawyer at 50, so I joined a law firm called J. Sagar, and I began helping the government to avoid disputes. And but then the problem with the law is that law allows you only to look at law, not others. So I was finding boring. Then I left law, I became an independent legal and financial advisor. Today, what has happened? What has happened today is that I have left that. I'm in private practice. Morning I'm a lawyer. Next day I'm a financier. Third day I teach at IIMs and IAS people. So I write in newspapers, Economic Times, Business Line. I speak in conferences and part of committees of government or industry. So it's again a many different fronts. And the last part, I got married to Vijayalakshmi, a spiritual person in India. So I have 2 children, Akshay and Anuj. Akshay is a MBA graduate who just moving to Tokyo as a brand manager. My son is an aspiring lawyer. And I'm blessed with a family, again son and child, we would call it many different family. So this is what I am. I'm standing before you to offer you many more many different days in case you like it. So I look forward to your support and guidance. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next speaker is a pleasing personality who has a finance background and he works for a multinational bank. He always wanted to be associated with Toastmasters because he considered Toastmasters as edutainment. That is, it is both educating and entertaining. He is none other than Toastmaster Ananthan. His evaluator is Toastmaster Priyadarshini. Toastmaster Ananthan, run your own race. Run your own race, Toastmaster Ananthan.
How many of you have heard the name Shivaji Ram Gaikwad? He is none other than our own very own Talaiva, Rajnikant. How many of you have heard the name Muhammad Kutti Ismail Pani Paramudin? He is none other than the famous actor Mammootty. How about Ananthan Mumbai Parama Ramchandran? You may or may not have heard, but the person right now is standing in front of you. I'm going to tell you how a simple name Anand Ramchandran got converted into a complicated name Ananthan Mumbai Parama Ramchandran. They take you from a life journey. Toastmasters, hello Toastmasters, and Medley, good afternoon. Good afternoon. I was born in Mumbai, the financial capital, in a typical traditional South Indian family. And 3 things are considered important: education, prayers, and music. Sports and extracurricular activities were at the back burner. My mom wanted me to be the great vocalist Bala Moli Krishna. I wanted to be somebody who would exercise his vocal cords and say something like this: "Oh, what a great shot that is running away in the band race. Sachin Tendulkar is the greatest in the world." The great commentator Tony Grant. Childhood was spent in Anna's club and played cricket at NCG. No, this is not any high-end club in Bombay. It's my own house which got converted into a club. As both my parents were working, friends who used to flock to my house and we would play all games, including golf at home. And NCG is nothing but my building name, Nalanda, which used to feel as we were playing at the great Melbourne cricket ground. I studied at Lakshmibai English Medium School. It was meant to be an English medium school, but the teachers there used to teach us English in Hindi. Chalo English sekhenge. So I learned something called English. Hindi plus English. Vocabulary was embellished. Words like high tech, meaning it's ridiculous. Sahiya boss, meaning it's cool dude. And array, that's a filler in Hindi. 93 marks in English at school and spelling bee champion. I did not get. Those are credentials of Toastmaster Pearl, if you remember. I got reverse of it, 39. And my English teachers used to tell me, Ananthan, your English is so bad. You lack imagination. You lack creativity. I chose commerce, not because I was good at it, because I was pathetic in science and arts. I completed my graduation. Years passed. Soon I became romantically starved, creatively challenged, emotionally numb, artistically void, and a social outcast. Which meant I did my CA degree. That's what happens when you do CA. Come again. And these feelings get accentuated when you realize your friends have cleared CA, but you are doing CA. Friends have got a job, you are still doing CA. Friends have got married, you are still doing CA. Friends are caught taking the kid for the medical examination. You are going for your own CA medical examination. Disastrous. Then I enrolled in IIM, Indian Institute of Marriage. Shari.com, Vivaha.com, Jeevansati.com. I left no stone unturned in my attempt to get married. But still, no luck. I could have well been a brand ambassador with the amount of money spent to these websites. My mom, by now, realizing that her son's horoscope is horoscope, went to the astrologer to seek solace. She looked at the horoscope and said, Rao cages about our spa, education, marriage, everything will be delayed. I checked with him with thousands of notes can change his planetary position. He gave me a very stone look. He simply asked me to change my name from Anand to Ananthan. And voila! It worked! Yes, it worked! I cleared my CA examination. I became exultant. Soon I joined the corporate days in Deutsche Bank. The thing about corporate race is, even if you win, you're still a rat. I had arrived at the boss's cabin for an appraisal discussion. He told me, Ananthan, you know the why for most things, but you're not able to tell that why to others, and that's why you need to join Toastmasters. I very innocently asked him, how can eating toast make me a good communicator? I always thought Toastmasters was meant that people eat toast together. Soon I googled, found out what is Toastmasters, and I found a club in Balloon Toastmasters, and the rest, they say, is history. From somebody who was shy, who could not speak English, I had metamorphed into somebody who could speak before the people, express his views, and look at the lighter side of things. Soon, Cupid's up, I got married, came down to Chennai, and was lucky to find a club in Medley, where I really find a medley of people. Right from the medical fraternity, to startups, to CEOs, to great consultants, multifaceted personalities, to the really distinguished Toastmasters, and I feel privileged that I like to restart my learning journey in terms of fun. Friends, isn't it true that you go through life and again, and life throws you something, you always keep thinking, why did it happen to me? Soon, when I came down to Chennai, I got married and was lucky to find a wife who was supportive and who was along with me in the Toastmasters journey as well. Keep supporting me, doesn't ask me to stay back. But to look back at my own journey, I realized it does not matter what the astrologer said. It does not matter whether Rahu is situated in the 7th house or 8th house. It does not matter whether you change your name or not. What really matters is have you started. What really matters is have you made progress and moved forward. What really matters is are you persevering. Run your own race. Because when you run your own race, it doesn't matter even if you get a 4-year degree in 6 years. It doesn't matter if you are comparing yourself with yourself and not with others. Friends, run your own race. With name change, without name change. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ananthan. The last in the Icebreaker series, we have an experienced Toastmaster. Though he is experienced, he is very simple and friendly to approach. He is working as a domain expert in IPR. His 13 years of Toastmaster experience has enhanced his communication skill. He is none other than Toastmaster Venkataseshan. His evaluator is Toastmaster Vijay Rajesh. Toastmaster Venkataseshan Never give up, Toastmaster Venkatesh. Thank you.
A friend called me in the month of July 2010. He is a lawyer and my team member. He called to say that Venkat, close your work and come to the Kotrapur police station around 2:30 p.m. I was puzzled. Why we need to meet before the police station? Finally, I reached that spot. He brought me to Medley Club. Good afternoon, Toastmasters and distinguished guests. In fact, it was the first day for me in Medley Toastmasters Club. I was third son for my parents, 2 elder sisters and 1 younger sister. I pursued my academic career in Ronnie Mary Primary School, Gandhinagar. First to 5th standard was a Tamil medium student. And I want to pursue my 6th to 10th standard in English medium at Kumarajamutta High School at Gandhinagar. In those days, you have to write entrance test and Viva to get admission in the English medium test. Nostalgic moment in my life is the Viva the question was only one question: what is your father? I answered spontaneously, my father is working as a Deputy Inspector of Survey in Land and Records at Chennai Collectorate. In the school, I got a class teacher. Friends, what made you feel proud of your teacher during school days? What made you feel proud of your teacher during school days?
See, they are the people who gave us knowledge, provided us a ladder, but they never benefited personally. They were the candles who lighted the flame. I could still remember the gratitude for teaching.
Thank you. The class teacher, Miss Lochana, a nostalgic moment in my life. She got a presidential award as a best teacher in those days. The class teacher differentiated the students into 3 categories. Number 1 is camphor. Attitude types of boys. It means the boys will grasp like a fire. Number 2, as like a coal. It means this type of students will capture the knowledge for a long time. The third one is called bottom-up. In this, you cannot ignite fire in this thing. She used to bifurcate the students like this. She was a friend, philosopher, and guide for me from 6th standard. And Toastmaster is a Toastmaster platform enhances my linguistic skills and communication skills to the clients, to deal with the clients. I had secured first mark in the South Zone as a trademark agent, which was notified under the URL www.ipindia.nic.in. My sincere advice to the new Toastmasters and guests: Toastmaster is the best platform to enhance, to overcome our hiccup in the professional life. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Venkatesh. Do you know that we have genetically programmed anxiety that we have inherited from the ancient men who had feared and fought against the animals for his livelihood? In modern life, we fear for 3 things: fear of humiliation, fear of embarrassment, and fear of rejection. And Toastmasters is a platform that will shatter all these fears, especially this section, table topic section. For so many times, I have prayed God that I should not be called as the Toastmaster speaker in table topic section. But few weeks before, there was a transformation within me, and that was through one of the new Toastmaster Shri J. Anand. He was a guest at that time, and he came here and spoke that he was worried that he was not called as a TT speaker that day. So that was the spirit, and his confidence actually vanished the fear that I had for TT speech. So to conduct this table topic section, we have a master called Table Topic Master. To play that role, today we have a fresher who is a manager in Ajuba Solution. Apart from enjoying being a Toastmaster, she also loves watching movies in OTT. Her aspiration through Toastmaster is to become an inspirational or motivational speaker in colleges and schools. Please join with me to invite Toastmaster Kalyani Hari, the TT Master of the day.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. It's time for super exciting table topics round of Toastmasters. Personally, I find this round to be the most enriching experiences of Toastmasters, mainly because it encourages you to think on your own feet. Also, it gives the speaking opportunity for any guest. Each speaker can speak for 1 to 2 minutes. I would like to call upon DTM Thomas. The question is, if we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make a mistake? If we learn from our mistakes, why are we always so afraid to make a mistake? Over to you,
Toastmasters, especially table topic masters, they are eager to say something different. Then only they can impress people. So they have this bag of tricks, this pet topics. One of them is this. If failure is the stepping stone for success, it's my translation. If failure is the stepping stone for success, why are people afraid of failure? Friends, failure in private is something all of us try. When you try to draw initially, when you try to write initially A, B, C, you are failing. That's a private failure. You enjoy it because the colors given to you by your mom and dad are different. Here you're talking about life in the raw. Already there are 20 people, looking at me intently. Imagine the world. Is that the place to fail? Come on, let's be serious. Friends, the point is this. I used to play basketball and used to love it. Any basketball player here? Any basketball player here? I must visit more clubs. You shoot 100 times a day. That's how you become good. You don't have to be Michael Jordan. So you fail most of the time. No one makes fun of you. You also don't feel bad. Someone would guide you and say, maybe use your finger, whatever. So 100 failures, you make it 5 or 7 times. A few months later, that 100 shots, you do better. You make it 20. But on a crucial day, when it matters, when the entire tournament championship remains on that one shot, that's the day all your failures all this time, 100% failures reduced to 90, 80, 70, 60, comes good. And you feel good when you are thrown in the air and you feel like a champion. I've experienced that. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to take me back to those days.
Next, I would like to call upon TM Saravanan. question is, why does an empty vessel make noise? TM Suhail. Why does an empty vessel make noise? OT.
Why does an empty vessel make noise? I don't know. I'm a family man. Because family mans always carry vessels with water when there is water scarcity. So I don't know about empty vessel. Sorry, I cannot talk about that, but I can talk about something about marriage as well as with fully loaded vessels. If you see, marriage is an institution, right? That is where a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly and soaring high in the world, catching the skies and looking at the stars and do whatever they want. Because that is what marriage is. When you are married to the right partner, that is when you can be yourself. You can talk about anything you want. When you have a loving partner, when you have a believing partner, when you have a trusting partner, that is where the real life is. And I'm fortunate to say that I have a loving partner, believing partner, trusting partner, because I'm in front of the camera. And that is and the vessels are always nicer when you are getting married. So marriage is always a beautiful institution, and whether it is IIM, Indian Institute of Marriage, or Indian Institute of Management, both are same, because you have to manage something when you get married. Because your wife, whether she is a manager, or your spouse, whether that person is a manager or not, you have to manage things of your own. How to manage things of your own? 3 things. Your attitude. You have to be absolutely clear. You should not wear any mask. You should remove that mask in front of your spouse when you are in your home. That is first thing. Second thing is health. You have to be healthier because you have to listen to a lot of stress, whether you like it or not. So you have to be a bit healthier. Your body should be able to take it up. Okay? And third one is content. Being content in your life. ABC, right? Attitude, body, being content in life, that is what matters. When you have that, all your vessels will make a lot of noise. I'm just bringing back the topic.
Next, I would like to call upon TM Veka. Favorite part of your daily routine? TM Veka. Favorite part of your daily routine? OT.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for this very relatable, resonating topic to my everyday of my routine. So after I given birth to my son, I had gained a weight of 93 kgs. And now my son is 21 years old. So the daily routine that I had adopted in many forms. One being an active person into multiple forms of yoga. I had tried almost all forms of yoga. That is the first thing I had tried as a routine for myself. Then I had joined a marathon club. That is a very active club in Chennai where I had a chance to run with like-minded people like housewives and the working professionals and all that kind of a thing, which had motivated me to be a routine of a marathon runner, where I could able to complete in half a marathon some years back. That is a kind of a routine I had followed. Now for the past few years, fortunately, unfortunately, I got into a routine of a gym. The reason on this time to pick up a gym as a routine in the morning thing is, in order to cultivate a habit of waking up 5:30 every morning. I had read so many articles, blogs and everything to make myself as an early riser, but I couldn't do that. Now only to achieve that, I am making a person to go to a gym regularly, hits the gym at 6:30 every day. That is becoming a part of my everyday routine. Except Sundays, I am making sure I am following that routine. That is motivating me physically and then as well as mentally to conduct my rest of my day in a much more cheerful way. That is my routine at this moment. Thank you.
Next, TM Sinthana. Question is, do you agree that we enjoy rainfall better as kids than we do as adults? Do you agree that we enjoy rainfall better as kids than we do as adults. Over to you, TM Suhail.
Hello Toastmasters and guests, I'm Sinthana. Yeah, this topic is really, it's taking me to my childhood days. So every time, so rain is because we lived in a village. It was totally agriculture was the main occupation over there, and so my grandparents and my parents, every time they used to pray for the rain. So then my grandmother used to tell about, okay, this was the this is the wind, this wind will take us to the rain, and this wind will stop the rain. So she used to tell about lot about rain. So every, during the rainy seasons, she will sat in the balcony and she'll be praying for the rain. So we enjoyed rain in my childhood days. Even my parents would like to will allow us to getting drenched in the rain. So even now, when the rain comes, I'll allow my kids to get them drenched in the rain. So rain is one thing which our family loves the most. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Sandra. Even I used to like rain in the childhood, but nowadays I cannot able to go to office with this road. So rainfall comes, it's very difficult. Next, I would like to call TM Suhail. Which of the three makes you nervous? Table topics, evaluation, or TMoD? Which of the three makes you nervous? Table topics, evaluation, or TMoD? Over to TM Suhail.
Thank you so much for the topic, table topic master. TMoD, I haven't done the role before, so I don't know what is the challenge of doing that role. Of course, it is table topics. Rather than saying it makes nervous, it uses a different version of ourselves. We have to face the humiliation. We won't be nice while giving the first, while delivering this speech during the initial days. I still remember my first speech while I was giving in my last year. We have to face that. We have to face the nervousness. We have to compare ourselves with our previous version, as clearly pointed by Toastmaster Ananda. The nervousness, when we face it, when we go through each and every day, when we attend each and every table topics, I attend each and every meetings, the way we have grown, the way we have upskilled ourselves. More specifically, last week I was in Bangalore. I was attending most of the meetings with clients, leaders, partners. Nowhere I felt down, nowhere I felt anxious, or nowhere I felt stressed. What I'm going to speak, what I'm going to be in the room. I spoke in front of 50 members. I gave a speech. I gave a presentation of what we have done. It went with the flow. I didn't. At a point of time, and not even at a point of time, I felt the stress. That's the time I have realized I made a biggest plan or biggest blessing in joining the Toastmasters. Frankly saying, at the end of the week, while I was traveling back from Bangalore, many partners personally called me. They appreciated me the way I gave that speech and I gave the presentation. So that is something great. The nervousness is table topics, but the result which we are going to get in the future, that is something great and something amazing. I'm the best excited for it. Thank you.
Next, guest Bharat. If you could travel anywhere, where would it be? If you could travel anywhere, where would it be? Over to guest.
Okay, if I could travel, the definite one place which I would like to travel is my native, which is like 250 kilometers from Chennai. It's a place called Sirgadi. So in my childhood, though I've been on and off there, though I was born and brought up in Chennai, but we used to go there only for holidays. It's for a short period, like a few months or like 1 month or so. But then off late, that was the time was the most precious time and we enjoyed a lot. But then as I grew up and as I got engaged in a lot of other activities, so my traveling to my native got reduced. Like it's now, like it is almost gone to an extent where we travel only once in a year now, and that too for only for the festival of Pongal. So that is what it has led me all these like 35 years or so. So now the place which I would like to travel most and visit most is my native. But then it has so happened all these years, the beauty of that place and the facilities we had in this, like the animals or the cows we had, the ox and the bullock carts and the fields and all what we had has gone now. So now everything has gone, it is only the small house which is left, and it's like even if I go there now, the joy and which I used to have is now gone. So only thing is I want to go back with all those facilities back. That is what I miss most, and that is what I like to do most. Thank you.
TM Suhail, guest Suhail, sorry, guest Suhail. Who inspires you? Who inspires you? Guest Suhail.
An inspiration. I'm sure for everyone, everybody has an inspiration in their life every day. For some people may be their mother, and some people may be their father, or even their son sometimes, which makes them pursue things better. And for me personally, it's my mother and my parents, basically. It's because they push me to be better, even though at the times where I couldn't. And at times when things get hard, at times when everything feels impossible, they push me to do something which I couldn't. And they inspire me every day by teaching me new things and inculcating new things in me, and helping my personality grow exponentially. And it just emotionally and physically, they always help me get better. So it actually helps me a lot. That I'm grateful for that. Thank you.
Guest Sastra Prasad. The question is, what has been the most terrifying moment of your life thus far? What has been the most terrifying moment of your life thus far? Over to Sastra Prasad.
What has been my most terrifying moment? To be very honest, I don't think so I had a terrifying moment so far. I believe that God has given me a good life so far. In my young age, I had good parents, and I had a good environment to study, and I got everything what I wanted. And then I got into a college of my liking, the education that I wanted to go through. And there again I did well. I got university rank. Post that I got into IIT to do my post-graduation. In campus itself I got a job, and then I got an on-site opportunity. Subsequent to that, I got a good wife. I got two good children. So, and they're all studying well. They are going through good extracurricular activities. And my daughter now is getting into engineering college. That was my aspiration for her. So that way, I believe that I have been lucky, and I thank God for that. And I hope and wish that I'll continue to have that. And I don't believe that there is anything terrifying that happened in my life. Thank you.
TM Shankuri. Do you really think that an apple a day will keep doctor away? Do you really think an apple a day will keep a doctor away? Over to TM Shankuri.
Yes, definitely. If you follow our food system, definitely we know to hold the doctor. Recently I have seen one WhatsApp that those who are in the diabetic people, apple means what I am saying about food habits also. Okay. What are the carbohydrate item or starch item which we are taking? In addition with that, if you take any protein or a lipid item, if you take, the glycemic rate of that things will be less. For example, if you take the rice, the boiled rice, instead of that, you take idli dosa. In idli dosa, they are adding the gram also, that is the protein. In that way, the intake of starch or carbohydrate will be less. In that way, the sugar patient, they can be away from this one. Like that, so many, if you are going for taking biryani, instead of taking more rice, you take pieces of other chicken piece also. In that way, you can away from the diabetes. This is a medicine. Thank you.
The next person.
Your good name?
Suhail.
Yes. Yes, Subhas. Good things take time. Your topic is good things take time. Guess Subhas.
Good evening, everyone. Good things do take time. I've heard of this. I have two analogies to share about this. So recently there is this movie that was released and had been popular, Love Today. And in that movie there is this metaphor of a small child who is trying to plant a mango seed. And then he keeps digging up the soil every time to see if the mango, the mango tree is, the mango seed is sprouting and then the tree is coming to life or not. And he used to be dejected. And after multiple such, days of him going and digging up the soil and looking at the seed again, his mother realizes what he is doing. And then, she pulls him away and explains that you should give it time. And this movie, that small incident is used as an analogy to explain how, in life and in relationships, you should not keep digging up to check what's happening. You should you should give everything some time to happen. And it happens towards the end of the movie when this person is in a very difficult phase of his relationship. At a particular point in time, he stops on the road, while traveling, and he realizes he's at the same place where he was growing up, and the whole place has changed. Earlier it was an empty field where he used to, dig up the soil and look at the mango seed, but now what he was seeing was a huge mango tree with a lot of mangoes that were there, and then he realized the words, the meaning behind the words of his mother, and he was seeing a proof of that, and that helps him, look back at his relationship. This is the analogy. I have another to share, but I don't think there's enough time. So, yeah, good things do take time.
Yes, friends, good things do take time because it took me so much time to be on this stage. Over to TM Guru.
Thank you, Toastmaster Kalyani, for conducting the TT session in a most interesting way. So before we move on to the third section, may I know from the timer the qualified speakers and the qualified TT speakers?
All the speakers for preferred speech are qualified, and all the speakers for table topic also qualified.
Can you call out the names of the table topic speakers?
DTM Thomas, TM Saravana, TM Rekha, TM Sinthana, TM Suhail, guest Bharat, guest Surya, guest Shasta Prasad, TM Suhail, Subhas.
Thank you, Taimo. Please take few seconds to mark the best speaker and the best TT.
I hope everyone got the voting card.
So now we have moved on to the last section of the Toastmaster meeting, the evaluation section. I used to go to chair a scientific presentation by students. Every time when I'm chairing the session, after the presentation I will tell thank you for an excellent presentation. But after attending Toastmasters meeting, I started critically analyzing. For every student, I used to tell what was best in her or his presentation, and I also used to suggest how he can change his presentation. And that Toastmasters sessions, especially the evaluation part, helped me to transform into a better chairperson. Now, to carry on to today's evaluation session, I once again like to call upon the GE, Toastmaster Prasanna Venkatesh.
Good evening all. We had a wonderful icebreaker marathon. It doesn't feel like an icebreaker speech. All the speakers delivered their speeches exultantly. Am I right? Now we have profound evaluators waiting to give their evaluations. For the first speech, given by Toastmaster Priyadarshini is going to be evaluated by our area director. But for me, when I remember, he used to give a presidential address. He started with one question. Today is a very special day. You know what it is? This question, I'm missing nowadays. And of course, there would be an answer from the back. Today is a Saturday. I would also do this. Let's welcome Toastmaster Saravana, our area director.
Toastmaster Priya, when I first saw your speech, I was able to visualize two things. One is how a shy, average caterpillar has transformed into a beautiful and exultant butterfly. There are four things I like in your speech. The first thing I liked is your speech and delivery style. If I have to say, you are a natural in front of the audience. You have a smooth flow of ideas, whether it is the idea of your school, the transformation from your school, college, your marriage, and then your current work life. All these were beautifully enacted in front of the audience. Why I'm saying enacted, it was like a visualization that was on the rounds. I will not say as a speech because we are all able to visualize what you are saying. Second thing I like is your descriptive language. You have both humor as well as pathos interspersed in your speech. Okay. It's very, very difficult to pull it off, but you have done it excellently. The humor of your salad draping or the pathos in your life, you are able to combine both and give it as a speech. It comes to, I would say, experienced speakers, but in an icebreaker speech to bring it up, that adds value. The third thing I liked is the speech value, because we are all spending our afternoon here, 2:55 p.m. But what is the value that we are getting? There is a lot of value in that. How to turn your negative energy into positive energy. And then you have given a profound message, because it's very difficult to talk about depression or sadness in front of audience, but you have done that. What does that mean? Everybody wears a mask, but you have shattered that mask in front of the audience, that it takes courage, and you have done it very well. The fourth thing I like is the manual. As per the manual, you have to talk about your persuasive influence, that is your pathways. And I would say you have persuaded as well as influenced everybody in this room. Having said that, there are a couple of things I would say as recommendations. The first thing I would say is, you talked about everything, your school life, why you are here, and all those things. But if you can talk about two things, right? What is your goal? What is that you want to achieve in Toastmasters? What you are lacking in yourself? What is your short-term goal? What is your long-term goal that you have joined over here and paid 45 plus 60 hours, right? So what is that for? And if you can tell about that, that would be really good. Second thing I would say here is, when you are ending the speech, restate all the main points that you want the audience to carry forward. So that is something that you can take it up. You ended with a punch, that is really good, but restate the main point so that that will linger on our minds for long. These are the two things I would say. To summarize, I would say you have very good speech and delivery style. It has a very nice descriptive language, and then you are able to combine humor and pathos, which is difficult, and you have a beautiful speech value. So Toastmaster here, I would say, miracles are on the way. Over to the floor.
For the second speech given by Toastmaster Wilson, it's going to be evaluated by one of our DTMs, and I should say, like, he is my mentor's mentor. It's already used, but let it use it again. My mentor is Toastmaster Jagan. His mentor is one of the profound speakers, TM Thomas. Please welcome him.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, and where is today's speaker? I don't quite see. Yes, Mr. Wilson. Greater days yet to come. Greater days yet to come. Good afternoon, friends. That was truly a statement of optimism and confidence. But if you notice, everything was a little bit in undertones. I'll explain why. But what I liked most was greater days. Greater days means two things. One, I've had a good life, career, and I expect more. In fact, this was a fantastic thumbnail sketch of your entire story, which is your entire life. So compliments you straight away for that topic. That's number one. Number two, what I liked was structure. All of you carried that, so there is not much I have to say, but it was chronological, it was rational, which all of you did, which is the nature of the animal, of the beast itself. Third, minimalism. Particularly I noticed, I know the background, which said his childhood was spent between school, church, and farmland. That's all one can do in a rural setting in 24 hours. Brilliant, especially for those who know it. Fourth, there was a rationality throughout, as you would expect from a banker. We're all creatures of, the earth, the air conditioning that we breathe, isn't it? So here it was rational because from tennis, from TV to tennis, and block in your growth, therefore Toastmasters. Everything was well explained. These are the four things I liked about your speech. Two suggestions. First one has a branching out. First suggestion is, please prepare a little more. Two things will happen. It will exponentially change your abilities, your strengths. One, you will smile. Then you will be more confident. Then your true voice will come. Voice, it will get, this veracity. It's coming from your heart, I know that. You know every word. But when you modulate it, it is an exponential change it will make in your impact. Try it out, you will see the difference. Secondly, opening. You talked about three pairs of contrasting things, like stress and joy, whatever. But I'm afraid it didn't fit in to your story. That contours didn't shape your story. Then it would have been nice. Then you try talking about the next milestone. Again, that didn't take you to the centrality of your story. It would be always nice to start with something that hits, that shapes, that controls, that defines your speech. For example, I was just wondering, on the basis of what you have said, supposing you were to talk about the Wimbledon that just happened, Djokovic, fight back. You could probably have left an impression, a leitmotif of yourself as a fighter. Wilson, the fighter. Kindly consider this.
So the third speech given by Toastmaster Balasubramanian is going to be evaluated by none other than our own president, Toastmaster Venkataseshan. Please welcome.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, congratulations to Toastmaster Bala for this wonderful icebreaker speech at Medley. This is also an icebreaker evaluation for me without a cheat. So just it is more like an impromptu I have planned. So first, I have 3 good things or feedback on your speech, Toastmaster Bala. The title. As soon as I received the agenda, I was wondering Mini Tiffany. Might be he will be starting something about his love life from a restaurant, how he ordered Mini Tiffany and someone sitting beside him about that. But every day I used to think, because recently I have seen a lot of intriguing title given by many of our speakers, but this is the first time I think by an icebreaker speaker. So the title itself has scooped the audience, at least your evaluator. So 3 things on your speech. The first one is the title which hooked every audience whenever, as soon as they heard a Mini Tiffany as the title of the speech. So you nailed it there. The second one is on your metamorphosis. How you evolve, how you move from one stage of life to the other. And as soon as you said Srirangam, 2 people came into my mind. One,
Ranga.
Sorry? Ranga. Great. He was the second person I was supposed to, but yes, Ranga. The other person is writer Sujata. As soon as he said, I started thinking about Srirangam and Kaveri and everything. I thought maybe he will go from there, but he moved completely to St. Joseph and then to different stages of life. I'm still wondering from BHEL how he moved to Coromandel Fertilizers. As a person who I worked in a PSU, and I know how it when you move to a private sector from a public sector. But again, he moved from Coromandel Fertilizers to UN and to different banking, and then finally into a lawyer. We are discussing about metamorphosis, where we see even one change in our life, we are struggling, we are fighting back to get into those, accommodate to that change. It is a really wonderful life story which we are inspired from your life. The third one is on the clarity of thought. The way he has changed his profession or his professional life, it shows how clear he is about what he wants to do in his life. That is very important takeaway for each one of us, which is very difficult to find in an icebreaker speech, which I see that we all need to take it. The clarity of thought in his speech. Saying this, I know that he is a good orator already. He had won a lot of table topics awards here. So I have 3 to 4 suggestions on your speech. The first one is the tone, the vocal variety. Most of the times your tone was like monotonous. It was at the right tone, but it was monotonous, always at the same pace. The second one is on the pace, monotonous. The second one is on the pace of your speech. It was very fast for a normal speaker or an audience of our stature. So please reduce your pace of speech so that the audience could get hooked up till the end of your speech. The third one is on the body and the conclusion of your speech and your objective of being a Toastmaster and why you selected leadership development. These are the things every Toastmaster here would like to know from the icebreaker speakers as Toastmasters are also. Otherwise, it was a wonderful speech. You will be having a great journey at Medley. All the best.
Just want to say one thing. Toastmaster Venkataseshan is known for his warm welcome. Whenever I enter the club, the first person receives me is our president, Toastmaster Venkat. That's what I remember about him. Now, the 4th speech given by Toastmaster Anandan is going to be evaluated by the Toastmaster who has been with Medley for a long time, Toastmaster Priyadarshini, please come.
What I liked about his speech, the horror scoop. I meant to say the humor, the lots and loads of humor. Let me ask you, what comes to your mind when I ask Mini Tiffin? What comes to your mind when I say fantasy world? Real speech. And he starts bringing in superstars and makes his entry. This is Mr. Anandan. I liked the confidence when you started your speech. Then he moves to talk about his life journey. Parents wanted him to be like Bhosle singers, but he tried Hush Bhosle. And he also brought that cricket commentary. I was clean bored with that style of yours. Then he talks about his teacher, who was full of English. That was Sahita boss. Talks about IIM, which is still more funnier. What's in the name? You still have a question? It was fully answered when I saw this speaker who said I had a 360-degree impact after changing my name. And the best part was his conclusion when he says, run your own race with this title. He says, what matters and why is it important to run your race? The race may be sprint, stroll, or scenarios. If you have started, you need to finish because it's your life. To this beautifully structured, confident speaker, what's my suggestion? See, I was running against time. I was confused. Should I listen to him and write down the words? Because you were that fast. It is said, straight roads are for drivers and turns are for racers. You were always racing, even though when it was a start or when there was a transition or also in conclusion. Only suggestion is, please slow down. Reason being, it gives time for us to soak in, to laugh out, to enjoy that moment. Because there is so much for us to enjoy and be in that. So from your start to finish, and with a very strong message, you really entertained all of us with this first starting speech of yours. Please keep up with this work. Just slow down so that we fully enjoy your speech, and best wishes in every race of this life of yours. Over to you.
The final speech given by Toastmaster Venkataseshan is going to be evaluated by the new Toastmaster, and this is his first role after joining Medley. Toastmaster Rajesh.
Good evening, Toastmasters and my dear guests. It's my pleasure to evaluate my friend Toastmaster Venkat's speech today. A passionate speaker who always loved to come to the stage and give a speech. Today, one of the great things I found in his speech is a screenplay. I found a screenplay in this Toastmaster Venkat. The way he opened his speech with the Toastmasters. In 2010, one of his friends invited to Toastmasters. I was thinking, why this speaker is talking about Toastmasters when he talks about his life. Yes, indeed. When somebody has spent 12 years of his life with Toastmasters, it's a part of life, right? So, of course, his life, Toastmasters has played a huge important role, so he starts with Toastmasters. And look at the screenplay, he ends the speech again with Toastmasters. He opens the speech with Toastmasters and ends giving the credibility in what way it has made an impact to his life, in what way it has contributed to his career, everything. So, one part I like is passion, screenplay, and the third thing is he has content. He has content to deliver. And being a presentation mastery, I like the way he used his properties, especially that Valamata, the humor click. So, and as a speaker, I felt that you have all the ingredients, what is required for a speech. Never give up is your title. You had opening, body and conclusion. But somewhere in the body I felt you dropped the content somewhere in between. So that did not take you to the destination, never give up. So my solution is go with the flow. Even if you forget some content here and there, it is only you know the script. We do not know. You can even go take a round around Tiruvannur and still you can reach your never give up destination. So never give up your destination. So my solution is go with the flow. Okay.
Thank you. Now I would like to call upon the tag report for the first. Timer. Can you give us your report?
Good afternoon again. I'm listing out the participants, the speakers, and the time. Initially, I'm starting with prepared speeches, speaker and time. TM Priyadarshini, 6 minutes 45 seconds. TM Wilson, 5 minutes 33 seconds. TM Balasubramanian, 5 minutes 45 seconds. TM Anuradha, 6 minutes 19 seconds. TM Venkataseshan, 4 minutes 10 seconds. Then I will list down the table topic speakers and the time they took for the speech. DTM Thomas, 2 minutes 14 seconds. TM Saravanan, 2 minutes 9 seconds. TM Rekha, 1 minute 49 seconds. TM Sinthana, 1 minute 9 seconds. TM Suhail, 1 minute 52 seconds. Guest Bharat, 1 minute 20 seconds. Guest Surya, 1 minute 13 seconds. Guest Shasta, 1 minute 15 seconds. TM Suhail, 1 minute 15 seconds. And Shubhas, 2 minutes 5 seconds. Then the time taken by the different evaluators. TM Saravanan, 3 minutes 15 seconds. DTM Thomas, 3 minutes 21 seconds. TM Venkataseshan, 3 minutes 29 Venkataseshan, 3 minutes 29 seconds. Priyadarshni, 2 minutes 44 seconds. Vijay Rajan, 2 minutes 23 seconds. Thanks.
Just one thing, usually the icebreaker timing is 4 to 6 minutes in length, and we give an extra 30 seconds before, after the time, which means 4 to 6 minutes 30 seconds he can take up to. That's the only thing I just want to say. And for the R-counter, I would like to call upon Toastmaster Shanmugavil.
Good afternoon, once again. Today is the metamorphosis of vigorous colleagues. The first speaker, Priyadarshini. The speech was clear. Serious, the overused word is fantasy. After 3 minutes, she has taken some pause. Otherwise, it was okay. Then, Toastmaster Wilson. He has also taken pause 6 times and 5 times, so 6 times. 4 times. He has used I 23 times. Then Toastmaster Balasubramanian sir. Initially only he has taken pause. After that the flow was very good. Even though he has used so 6 times. And he has used and 21 times. Then as usual, what I expected, TM Anuradha, he was so fast. As expected. But he has taken pause after his marriage. He has taken pause. The overused words are CA 8 times, and you have used Toastmaster also more. Then Toastmaster Venkataseshan, he has taken more pause, near about 10 times, and he has used I 7 times. Then table topics. Toastmaster Thomas sir, he has used if 3 times. Remaining was okay. Then Toastmaster Saravanu, it was also clear pitch, but he has used one, and I am fortunate 2 or 3 times. Then Toastmaster Vega, it was also clear speech. The overused words are Maratha and Jim. Jim only he has used 4 times. Then Toastmaster Sinthana table topics. Initially he has taken pause 2 times. Then he has used so 4 times. Then Toastmaster Suhail, he has taken, it was also clear speech, but he has taken 10 times used are. Then Kast Bharat, the overused words are now and like. Then Kast Surya, he has used 7 times and I also 7 times. Kast Prasad, he has used I 10 times. Then Toastmaster Sanubir, I might be also used and pause also. Then Kast Suhas, he has used 10 times. Then lastly, evaluation. As we expected, it was excellent. Excellent. So all the 5 evaluation was very clear. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's have the Grammarian report, Toastmaster Nishana.
Greetings, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Let's start with the word of the day. So we have a couple of good usages as well. So we have Toastmaster Priyadarshni, Toastmaster Balasubramaniam, Toastmaster Ananthan, and Toastmaster Prasanna Venkatesh said the word of the day. So yes, we have very good usages today with respect to different words. Toastmaster Venkataseshan informed change is evitable and embrace change. Pravda mentioned transformation, supernatural force, edutainment, fear of humiliation and fear of embarrassment. We have Toastmaster Priyadarshni unleashed the miracle on us with a series of thousands of miracles, placid life cycle, fantasy of Cinderella and Snow White. We have Toastmaster Wilson compares absence and presence and mentions sports enthusiast. Toastmasters Balasubramaniam mentioned incognito mode, candle who lighted the flames. Then Toastmaster Ananthan, I couldn't note down everything. Spelling bee champion, creatively challenged, Indian Institute of Marriage, horoscope and horoscope, and run your own race. Then we have Toastmaster Venkatesan, mentioned puzzle, nostrologic moment, and the comparison of camphor and coat. We have Toastmaster Kalyani, mentioned think on the feet. We have DTM Thomas, mentioned fail in private, fail in public. Toastmaster Saravanan mentioned caterpillar transforms as butterfly. And ABC abbreviation was provided as attitude, body, and content. And Toastmaster Rekha mentioned cultivating the habit. I have also noted down a couple of improper usage. It's not people filled with auditorium, it is auditorium filled with people. It's not day of theme, it's theme of the day. Then we have Will sat. We have to mention it as she used to sit and pray for the rain. And it's not in addition with that, it should be in addition to that, we can take the apple as well. Thank you.
Now let's go into the general evaluation session. The good things I have noted in the meeting is Sergeant at Arms waited till the exact minute to come to start the meeting. That was the first thing. And presidential address was crisp, and he managed to call almost all the guests, and it was on right time. And TMoD described the roles and structure of the meeting for the benefit of guests. And TT Master effectively called upon all the guests, and a special mention to Toastmaster Venkataseshan and Anandan that they waited till the speaker stops their speech, then only they moved from their seats. That was a wonderful thing. And it is a meeting of near perfect. Still we have some recommendations to achieve a perfect meeting. The first thing is we can improvise the attendance of the meeting. We can, more members could be attended here, and all the role players, important role players, could arrive the meeting before the start of the meeting. And of course that the AC control, we might have that AC remote should be under very handy. It's not very reachable. That's the things I have noted. With this, we had a wonderful meeting today, and it has to be remembered because it's an icebreaker meeting. We get to know many Toastmasters here. Thank you. I will hand over the stage to TM.
Thank you, G. Please take few seconds to mark the best evaluator and tag role player. Metamorphosis is the process that brought diversity and prosperity in insects. I would say that metamorphosis also refers to the change that makes in a person to a completely different one. I strongly believe that Toastmaster is a platform that can bring prosperity in our personality and exultancy in our life. All that we need is little focus, determination, and permission to ourselves to make mistakes and learn from them. So I wish you all happy Toastmastering and watch out for the metamorphosis within you. I hand over the podium to the presiding officer.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. What a wonderful icebreaker marathon. Each speech had a takeaway for each one of us present here. We can't ask more than that from an icebreaker marathon. I learned a lot in today's session. So with this, I would like to congratulate the first time role player, Toastmaster Tamilavil, for doing his timer role. Now I would like to grab 5 chairs. I need some volunteers to give their chairs, and also please people out here. So, for the benefit of guests and the new visitors here, it is our tradition to wish the icebreaker speakers here on the podium. And today we had 5 speakers. So I didn't have this opportunity earlier, so this is one of the time opportunity and offer that any presiding officer or Toastmaster could witness. So I request all icebreaker speakers who delivered their speeches today to come on the stage. Please. I request all Toastmasters to rise up and congratulate them. Thank you.
Smile, smile, please.
Yeah.
Thank you. week we have an education session for all Toastmasters. So I request all Toastmasters to be presented. It's a special session for the new Toastmasters. And on the first week of August, we will be having the new member induction. The members who have recently joined will be formally inducted into Medley Toastmasters. We are also planning to have an orientation program for new Toastmasters on the same day. So we'll send more announcements on that on the coming week. And as I said in the starting of the session, so we are closing our renewal for the next term on 26th of July. So I request all Toastmasters who have not paid the renewals, please do make the payment. So with that, I would like to take
education. You would like to say something? The education session you would like? Yeah, after.
Yeah. So the education session will be conducted by DTM Thomas. He will share some information on the session.
Thank you very much. I just want to say that Toastmaster, our president is so clairvoyant. He sent you on a video, the speech of Mohammed Khatami. That is going to be the topic of next week's session, which is about various ways of opening a speech. So I request all of you to be familiar with that and come. That's the homework. Yeah, thank you.
So we'll have a quick feedback from the guests who are present here. I request guest Bharat.
Hello all. So the first feedback or impression is what very well structured, the opening, the welcome address by the president, and then walking through the agenda. So that was one of the best impressions which I had, and everything on the timer and it went at the time. And the feedback session was more vital. The time it was given for the feedback session, and I was just impressed by the way the evaluators noted down each and everything. Like it was a recollect for me, but I was just surprised like how a person can understand or note down so many different things or the details of what was delivered. And more the R counter. So I was just wondering like how can a person can keep count of so many things. So it was just amazing. So it was overall it's well structured, but then when he said there's educational sessions and all, and also the open space, so that made me to realize that there is a lot of preparation which the fellow club members are imparting to the other new joinees members. So yes, definitely a best impression of this first meeting which I've had.
I request our guest Sasta, please give your feedback.
So hello all. Overall the session was well structured, and I really liked the way people have taken the roles and played the role. I assume that the role changes every week, so good that people get that exposure. And the fellow Toastmasters reviewing and providing feedback is also a very good thing. So overall I quite liked it, and I'm looking forward to attending more and more sessions. Thank you.
I request someone from Mr. Suresh or his family, please. Give your feedback.
So, most of my earlier speakers told what are the feedback we wanted to speak, but it is an excellent session. One of the most wonderful session I thought I have attended, and I never thought this will be this kind of session at all. I thought, because I've been there in some of the other sessions also, and it was more of a monologue, more of what need to be done. It was not participative as it is as of now. And whoever has taken the role, they never bothered that the next session is going to be on them. So they gave a very, very frank feedback, and especially Sarah, I don't remember the name. Wonderful, because now I start to talk about I and okay, because I have become very conscious that I should have used that, because we are counting it, but now it need to come unconsciously into my mind that these are the words I shouldn't use in a stage speak, and hope I'll also improve. that when I do it in my corporate lecture. Plus, I always like the way everybody has participated in it. Thank you so much.
As we are waiting for the ballot results, I would like to share some of the feedback which I received. I'd like to share it with you again in a different way. Someone said that about the listening skills. So that's one of the greatest skills that you could learn in Toastmasters, especially in Medley. And as our Toastmaster Saravanan said, it would help not only in your professional life but also in your personal life. You will start listening to your spouse much better. That's one feedback. And the second one is about the role players. Yes, at Medley, the role players, the members, they take voluntarily all the roles, and we have rotation of roles. That's one of the reasons we request all the guests to come for 3-4 meetings consecutively so that they could see different kind of role players doing different roles. That would give a glimpse of what Medley is and what is about Toastmasters. So that is one of the reasons we suggest guests to come for 3 to 4 weeks to have that experience. With that, I think we are ready with the ballot results. I request Sergeant Toms to share the ballot results, please. One more thing which I wanted to share, as one of the guests said about the role players and the way the people are taking the role seriously, it is a lot of effort has gone into the role players' role and the speakers who are delivering their speeches here and the role players about TMoD or TT Master. So the request from my part as a presiding officer is to all the members is to reduce usage of mobile phone when the session is on. As Sergeant Ram said, it's not only important to keep it on silent mode, but it is also important to avoid looking at using your mobile phones when the session is on, because it usually distracts the speaker who is speaking over here. So that's a request to all the Toastmasters and guests here. With that, I would like to declare the best performers here of the day. Best speaker, Toastmaster Ananthan. Guest evaluator, Toastmaster Priyadarshini.
Thanks to Ananthan and his model students.
Best role player, Toastmaster Pravda. Best tag role player, Toastmaster Nishana. Best TT speaker, guest Subhash. I declare meeting number 740 to an end with the sound of this gavel.